Oh, yeah, I guess you can, huh? Since I forgot to unmute my mic. That's unfortunate that I forgot to do that. But anyway, what I was saying is I'm glad to see everybody here. And I hope you enjoyed the Sunday sermon this week and my little trick that I played with the church background. But I felt like, it gave some ambiance to the presentation. And so that's why I did that. And that will be my, format for the upcoming shows. And like I said, if you have a suggestion for a Sunday sermon, a topic you want addressed, just email it to me at survivingdating@gmail.com. It was blessed up. I would have thought it was more like it was messed up, but whatever. Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. I just wanted to see what you guys was going to say about it because I thought I caught everybody was laughing. Yeah, the Sunday sermon has been, I've been getting some really interesting emails about that. I think that hit a lot of women really, really hard. And plus, some really interesting comments are up on the wall under the video. So if you get a chance, Drea, I got you. I got you. If you get a chance, go over and check out the comments under the video, ladies sharing their own stories with, that kind of situation, made those kind of mistakes. And so, um, hopefully we can catch a few of the young ones before they do. Okay? You got your wine? You ready? We have today on What the Fuck Tuesday 23 questions. I see what happened because last time I had 21 and usually it's 22. So today I have one to make up for it. That's what happened. Um, but yeah, those of you who just wandered in, you came to a live show, you don't really understand what's happening. This is a live advice show. People write in letters in advance, so we don't take questions here, not tonight. People write in advance. My cousin reviews all the emails that come in, and she picks, usually about 22 of them a week, and we do them here live on the air. I read them out loud, and then I respond to them. So I hear the questions for the first time when you hear the questions. That's why we do it that way. She's the only one who handles the questions. I don't see them until I start reading. You need 25? No, we don't. We had 25 before. I thought I was going to die because they was long, too. It wouldn't be so bad if it was 25 and there was a lot of short ones. But every one of those in that show were long as heck. The people just wrote like novels. I couldn't believe it. So you ready? Let's go for What the Fuck Tuesday, September 15th, 2020. Question number one. This one is from a male in the UK. He's 30 to 36 age group. I just found out that my 4-year-old daughter is not mine. Well, there's a bomb dropper right on the first line of the first letter. She was having a really bad fever. We took her to the hospital, did some tests as told by doctors, found out she was having typhoid. She got treated there and now she is absolutely fine. Last month I was going through her test reports and found out that her blood group is B positive. Me and my wife are both A positive, so I thought it was some sort of mistake. To make sure what her blood group was, I made an appointment with the doctor to confirm it. We did another test, and yes, her blood group was 100% B positive. I was shocked. My worst fears were coming true. I confronted my wife. She denied everything. She told me that her mother's blood group is also B positive. Maybe he has inherited from her grandmother. She didn't really know how this worked, so I demanded a paternity test. She was hesitant at first, but after putting some pressure on, she agreed. Last week we got the result, and this little girl is not mine. My wife broke down crying, admitted to a 1-week affair with a coworker. I didn't ask details or anything regarding the affair. I just asked her, where is that fucker? She told me that he has moved to another state a couple of months ago. We contacted him, and he has been married now and told us that he'll financially support her, but will not be a part of her life, occasional meeting, etc. Anyway, I'm staying at a hotel. My wife and her family members have been blowing up my phone ever since. I'm struggling with the decision to divorce or not. I'm still going to raise her even after the divorce. This doesn't change how I feel about her. My wife has been begging to give our relationship a chance and that we can work through it for our daughter. Here I'm feeling numb and depressed. What should I do? I can't think and I'm heartbroken, but I love that little girl. I am so confused. Help me. Whatever you suggest, I will seriously consider doing because I know you won't guide me wrong. Oh boy. Well, just pass the baton to me then. Why don't you? Let me tell you something. Before you make a move, think really hard. Give this some time to settle in. I say that because right now you're in the midst of an emotional tornado. You got hit with two really big things at one time. You don't know which end is up right now. And I'm not trying to, before everybody gets crazy, I'm not trying to excuse the fact that she cheated or the fact that she lied. That's not the point. That happened in the past. Obviously, the little girl's 4 years old, so that means it was 4.5, look, 5 years ago, right? So, okay, you was fine with it all this time. You just found out. So what I'm going to say is this. If your marriage is otherwise good, right? You take this out, your marriage is otherwise good. Is it worth throwing away because of your pride and one lie? I can't make that decision for you. Only you can do that. Because, the person who's going to be hurt the most is the child. And I think sometimes as adults, we tend to get caught up in our emotions and what's right and what you said and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not excusing her behavior, not one iota. I'm not. She needs to pay a penance for that. I don't know what kind of thing she needs to do to get you, to win your trust back, if that's what you want to do. But she's going to have to pay that price. That's just it. And it could be that she honestly didn't know that, whose baby it was until this DNA test came out. But he said right here that he's going to still be the little girl's father regardless. He said that right in the letter. He's like, what did he say? Hold on a second. Let me see. I'm struggling with the decision to divorce or not. I'm still going to raise my daughter even after divorce. This does not change how I feel about her. So see, he's committed to, being there for the child because that's the only daddy that she knows. And this other clown, I mean, she don't know nothing about him. She has no relationship with him. She don't give a fuck about him. She cares about this guy. This is her daddy, and she's only 4. So I think is his heart's in the right place there. Your heart, dude. But um, you're going to be struggling with this for a long time because of the betrayal and the anger and the rage and the hurt and everything is all combined in one. So I really, really caution you: do not make any decisions right now. Okay, take a time away from her. Get you some counseling if you need to. Do it slow so that no matter what you decide, you'll be comfortable with the decision and you'll be able to go on. Whether you guys get counseling and you decide to divorce, whether you get counseling, you guys decide to work it out. Because just if one affair on its own, eh, most married people, especially been married for many, many years, will try to work it out, or at least see if it's possible. And then if they can't do it or they won't do it or it hurts too much or whatever, they still have tried and talked it out with a therapist so that they feel okay about separating. There's no angst, none of this, oh, I should have tried, I should have, I would have, I wonder what would have happened if they eliminate all of that so that you can go on with a clean conscience. You know that you worked through all those issues, you gave it your best shot, and either you decide to stay in it or you decide to leave it. But either way, calm down. Don't do anything right now. Just stay away from her and work through your feelings for a month or two. Okay? Don't do anything right now. Now he's too emotional. Of course he's not gonna trust her. He's gonna, like I said, she's gonna have to take that L because he's gonna be, even if they decide to stay together, she's gonna be under a microscope. She's gonna have to be reporting in like she is a newscaster on Channel 7. Everywhere she goes, she's gonna have to report in, and that's just the way it is gonna be to alleviate his fears for probably, at least a year or two. And if she, can do that, then they might have it. Well, we don't know that there's a no trust in the marriage. It sounds like this is the only thing that's this thing, and it happened 5 years ago. Come the fuck on. Let's just figure he needs to calm down. He's just reacting emotionally and not being logical about it. He's all up in his feelings and his pride and stuff, which I totally understand. He's hurt. But does that mean that this relationship is unsalvageable? And the answer to that question is no. So, shit happens. People have survived worse. Let's move on to question number 2. This is from a young woman in the 21 to 25 age group out of Milwaukee. I listened to your video about yuck mouth gums and mouths last week, and I came to a realization. I have realized that I really don't like kissing. I think about it, but I don't actually like doing it with another human. However, once in a while, I'll kiss a boyfriend and it feels good. And another time they try to kiss me and I just feel so disgusted. Their lips just disgust me and I feel trapped by them trying to kiss me. Oh my God. I feel like this 90% of the time. And then there's a few times where I can actually kiss them and enjoy it. Do you think I'm the only one with this problem? No, no, you're not. Quiet, quiet as it's kept. I'm there, right there with you sometimes. Because, I don't know, it's something about kissing. Sometimes, you just, it's very sensual. It has to be, the guy has to be a good kisser. So then you enjoy it, and he got to have like the right kind of lips and the right kind of attitude and all kind of stuff has to be like, right. Then it's a great experience. But if anything is off, then it turns into a chore or just like a nightmare. And they thinking they being all romantic and stuff. Honey, wait, I have to tell you about this dude. Oh my God. I have been talking to this dude. This is why I don't do online dating. Well, actually, we weren't even online dating, but it was somebody I used to talk to online for like years, right? And he finally came out to the West Coast. And I knew he was, I knew he liked me. I mean, but it wasn't, I mean, he lives on the opposite coast. What am I going to do? I won't even date somebody that lives in San Jose. Okay, that's 50 miles away. That's long distance to me. So, you on the other side of the country, ain't no haps. So, dude comes out here, right? So, I'm showing him around and playing tour guide and all this old stuff. And so then he decides he's going to kiss me. Okay, so first it was like a little peck, like a little, husbandly peck. Then he decided he was going to go for some tongue. I tell you, I have never in my life been just so grossed out in my life by somebody kissing. This man, he opened his mouth wide as possible, and then his tongue was going around like in this like really fast circle. I don't know what he was doing. And I was sitting there and just like, you know, it's like, how you just get so shocked that you can't even move? It was like that for me for a few seconds. Then I pushed him off and I was like, ew, that's not, I don't know. And my whole face all around here was wet. This is a man who is in his 30s. So I was like, this is gross. I don't know. So, honey, I'm right there with you. I totally understand. A lot of men cannot kiss. They don't have that sensual side to them. They don't understand what it's supposed to be about, and it's just nasty. And so, yeah, I'm. You're not the only one. I think most women have felt like that at one time or another. Shut up, Ravania. Yeah, I don't know what that. I'm still in shock, and that was many 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 years ago. But I'm telling you, hot slobber. That's right, Robin. He was like being licked by Rin Tin Tin or something. I could not. And then he was like, wonder why his ass was single. I'm like, oh, teacher, I know, teacher, I know, because that was just too much. This is a true story. This is just gross. He was. Ugh. So let's move on. Question number 3. This is from a young woman in the 18 to 21 age group out of Sacramento, California. My mother is furious at me for attacking her boyfriend after he hurt my little brother. He was mad at my brother over the music volume. He wanted to turn it down, and my brother said no. He was drunk and shouted at my brother, then dragged him out of his chair and punched him in the stomach and kicked him when he went down. This is a grown man, 45 years old, and my little brother's only 15. Oh, hell no. I ran and pushed him into the pool. From inside the water, he came to take my foot to pull me into the pool, but I kicked him in the face. I took my brother and we ran out and asked the neighbor to call the police. The police came and arrested him. Good job. My mom is now mad and says I shouldn't have attacked him and that we could have solved the problem ourselves within the family. She always criticizes my brother for not being strong. She says he should have been able to protect himself, and boys shouldn't need girls to protect them. I don't think I did the wrong thing. He was hurting my brother. His body's bruised from the assault, and I would do it again. How do I convince my mom that I did the right thing? You don't. You can't convince her because your mama loves dusty ass men. Instead of her complaining about what you did, your mama should have been jumped in it. All three of y'all should have been beating his ass. You don't beat up no 15-year-old kid. I don't care how mad you are or how drunk you are. You do not put your hands on a child. And at 15, that's all he is, a kid. And you his big sister. I mean, even though you're a girl, you're older than him. You have more muscle mass than him. You have probably more weight than him. You know how to fight better than him because you've already been protecting him your whole life. That's what we do with our little brothers. I used to beat people's ass over mine too. You know what I mean? Boys way bigger than me. And I would beat their ass over my little brother. And so I totally get where you coming from. You see they hurt somebody hurting them, you go crazy. You just see red. And it's like, especially like my case, my brother's first word was my name. He didn't say mama. He didn't say dad. He said Dee. And he reached for me. Okay? That's how close we were. So it's like, you think I'm going to sit there and let somebody hurt him? I would lose my mind and just start beating up everybody, like turn into the Hulk or something. So, honey, I totally get where you're coming from. But see, your mother, all you have to say to your mother is, you know what? If he hadn't done the wrong thing, he wouldn't have got arrested. So I'm not going to argue with you about this. Take that up with the police. What he did was a crime. That's why he got charged. So, that's all you have to say to her. Just say that over and over until it sinks into her thick skull. But anyway, I want to commend you for protecting your brother. That was excellent. That was wonderful. He should be very, very proud of you and happy that he has a sister looking out for him like that. Any grown-ass man punching a little boy in the stomach like that, he could have broke his ribs and done some internal damage to him. A grown-ass man. And since he was drunk and angry, he wasn't holding back. So, no, I don't blame you. He lucky all you did was push him in the pool. Yeah, he said Dee. Instead of Debbie, he couldn't do the B's. But, yeah, I'm with you. 100%. Your mother's wrong as two left feet. But, yeah, just tell her that. That's all you have to say. Question number 4. This is from a female, 37 to 45, out of Vancouver. Hi, Ms. Deb. I really appreciate all you do to help women. Thank you. Why do men cheat on quality women? I was having a conversation with some friends, and one friend revealed that a prominent dance teacher in the salsa community, let's call him Julio, had propositioned her after she drove him home. Julio is in a committed relationship with a successful and attractive woman. Why does he continue to be community dick when he's living with this woman and they declare publicly to be partners? They profess their love for each other on social media. This conversation lingers because Julio's partner is a nice person, and this information is eating me up to the point where I can't look at her in the face. Should I tell her or keep my mouth shut? I feel sorry for her. She must realize what's going on. I feel like she is wasting her time with this Dusty. I'm going to tell you this, with your 37 to 45-year-old self, mind your business. Okay, partner, they're not married. Okay? You trying to hold a man who's not married to a standard of a husband. Not to say he wouldn't act the same if he were married, but he's not. Okay? And I done told you all 55 million times. You either single or married. There's no in between. You might be on the path to getting married. You thinking about getting married. You engaged to be married. You walking down the aisle to get married. But until you say I do, your ass is still single. At any moment, you could make a U-turn in that aisle and run out that church. And guess what? You will leave single. So, I have to caution you with this being, too judgmental. Not only that, this is secondhand information. How do you know it's true? How do you know she didn't misinterpret what he said? How do you know that she didn't proposition him? See, you don't have enough information. You don't have no facts. You just have rumors. You have what somebody told you, some third party. The only way this would work is if the person it happened to went and told the woman, because then it would be firsthand information. You hearing it all round the way, some kind of way, then going to sharing a rumor that you heard, the woman's going to cuss you out. As she should, because that's none of your business. Okay, this friend of yours chose, a person in your class or whatever, chose to share this with you. But like I said, since they're not married and you don't really know that any facts about the matter, you need to do this. Because you know what? What's real is going to happen. So, I mean, and it's not only that, a lot of times in situations like this, the women already know. They already know. They already know what kind of man they're dealing with. And you going throwing it in her face just humiliates and embarrasses her. So now she's going to feel like she has to say something and all stuff. So it's not your business. You don't even know these people. It's not your concern. And like I said, the main thing from my perspective is they're not married. And you don't know what the state of their relationship is just because they living together, whatever, claiming their love and stuff. That doesn't mean it's real. That could be for some political purposes. You don't know what's going on in people's relationship. They could be one of them swinger types of stuff. All kind of stuff could be. We don't know because we're not in that relationship. They're not related to you. She's not even really a friend of yours, just somebody in your class. Okay, leave this alone. Keep your mouth closed. I'm glad you asked before you said anything and made yourself look stupid. Don't do that. Stay out of people's relationships. And remember, if they ain't married, they're single and they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. That's my stance, and I'm sticking to it. Why do I say that? Because that's exactly what happens anyway. Are you talking about, well, my boyfriend this and my man and my baby daddy and this and that? And they act like they single, don't they? Y'all just can't wrap your minds around the fact that you ain't married. But you want to be holding them to all these fanciful, rules and regulations and all what he best do and all this old stuff. Yeah, just stay out of folks' business. Okay, that's my advice to you. Question number 5, female, 26 to 29, out of Santa Clara. My boyfriend of 22 months sometimes takes Coca-Cola while drunk. I've told him that this is not my thing and I don't like it or the company it attracts. Everyone who he works for and the majority of his family all occasionally take Coca-Cola too, apart from me. He tries to reassure me that it's not a problem, it's just occasionally and shouldn't affect our relationship. Deb, I have tried to overlook it all this time, but it's getting to the point where I just don't want it associated with me or my life. He tells me that I knew this when I met him, although I was naive to think it would stop. Am I being unfair to question our relationship now? No, you should be out of this. See, this is the thing. We have talked about this. Okay, what are your standards? What are your boundaries? What are you looking for? Can somebody who is a druggie, whether it's occasional or not, give you those things? Okay, then he's doing all of this kind of stuff, and you're gonna try to get married and have babies. Your kids gonna be all fucked up from street drugs. 'Cause you don't know what they put in that stuff, what they cut it with. Okay, people be snorting it and blowing it and swallowing it and shooting it and all this stuff. And whatever that person, whatever chemicals that they mixed in there, that person's absorbing into their body with no knowledge of how it's going to impact them and any, their child, offspring. It's a risk because you don't know what's in that stuff. So this is not the lifestyle that you want to live. This is not the kind of man that you want. This is not the kind of things that you want happening in your life. So why are you wasting your time there? You don't have to question what it is that you want just because he says, well, that's why you knew that's how I was. I say, well, yeah, I did. But you know what? Now it really bothers me more than it did then. So I'm out. Bye. That's all you have to do. You don't need to justify this or give him any kind of excuses and make him feel better about your decision not to be with his druggy ass. Crackhead babe. Shut up, baby lady boss. I'm just, he's on a downhill slope to nowhere. Get out of this shit. You 22 months of that is too much. Shit, by the time you found out he was doing it and you was into it for 2 months, you should have been chucking up the deuces. Well, not only that, I am a firm believer that every single person who I know who did that stuff a lot ended up what they call bipolar. I personally think it messes up your brain chemistry because they all be talking about, I have mental illness after they mess with that stuff. I'm like, I'm not trying to be bothered. I don't want to. I don't like people with afflictions. Afflictions and addictions are a big no for me. We don't like that. Okay? So, yeah, just leave this situation and get you a man who, don't do all that crazy stuff. Question number 6, male, 21 to 25. He says, USA. Hello, Auntie Deb and everyone. I need some help. I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend for about 9 months now. We live together. How you live together with somebody you haven't been with for a year? I just don't get these young folks. Some backstory. I have been dealing with anxiety for a couple of months now, so it's very new to me. Long story short, I met her when I was in a very dark place in my life, and she helped me out so much. Anyways, me and her went back to her home state to meet her parents, and she wanted to visit family. I was only there a couple of days because of work. However, she stayed there a few more weeks. To get to the point, I deal with separation anxiety whenever I'm away from her, and it sucks. I get depressed and lonely when I don't have her around. I still go to working with my friends and everything, but when I'm at home, just have a hole inside and it just hurts. Trying to find out how to deal with it, and part of me doesn't want to tell her either because I just don't want her to see me as a burden because what it sounds like, honestly. My question is, do you know anyone who has experienced this? Any other suggestions on how to deal with it and get through it other than keeping yourself busy? Oh, well, I'm going to say this. Aside the fact that you're dealing with anxiety, which you don't really say why, I'm going to tell you this: when you really, really love somebody and you really, that involved, that connected to them, that is how you feel when they're not there. My husband worked away for business all the time. And it was like, the first, couple of nights I would toss and turn and I couldn't sleep. And so he would call and he would talk to me till I, fell asleep and stuff because he knew. I would sleep with, his pillow because it had a smell on it and stuff. It's just really weird. When you've been with somebody for a long time, I'm surprised though, because you guys only been together 9 months. But when you are just that connected to that person. It's like when he would be there, I could go into a deeper sleep because I knew he was there. When he wasn't there, I would sleep lightly and toss and turn. And that was just the way that it was. So some of that is to be expected. Now, as far as, this depression part, the loneliness, yes. The depression, though, that might be a bit heavy. And so you say that you're dealing with anxiety. I hope you are, getting some therapy for that. Because one thing you don't want to do is have that spill over into your relationship. I like the fact that you're aware of what's going on and you don't want to tell her because you know that it might scare her off. Very good thinking. So what you have to do, young man, 21 or 25, is take charge of your life and your mental health. Get your little butt to a shrink and start working on that. Okay? And he'll tell you, it's normal to miss the person that you love when they're not there. That part's normal. Nothing wrong with that. It's normal to miss them. It's normal to feel lonely without them, especially if they're gone for a week or two or three. You're going to deeply miss their presence. But, not to the point where you get depressed, though. That's a little heavy. So you want to, address that, okay? Question number 7, female 26 to 29 out of Seattle. I'm in dating hell, Deb, and I need some help being less intimidating. First off, I know that I have resting bitch face. It is what it is, and I joke about it constantly, but I have only been able to meet dates off online for one date if they don't ghost me, she says in caps. I have never been asked out in person, and sadly, I don't have the confidence to approach men. I had epilepsy that destroyed my confidence in myself and my body, which throws me off when my friends, their boyfriends tell me I'm hot, like a 9 or 10, which is unusual because my family has always commented on my weight. I am curvy thick, so it is a predicament. I really came to notice that I am intimidating when I was drinking, having a night out with a buddy. He's 26, and my other female friend who's also 26, and he jokingly was hitting on her. But I was like, hey man, why don't you ever joke around me like that? No, you didn't. And all he could say was, I don't know, you're intimidating. I've known him for 6 years, and that's all he could say. Couldn't tell me why or how I was intimidating, just that I was. Is being pretty that frightening to others? I've heard that I'm intimidating from old coworkers and such, but a friend shocked me. I've only been in one serious relationship for less than a year. Do women go through this? Yes, but what you're dealing with is some punk ass, weak ass, stupid ass, spineless ass men. Okay, because a woman looks good, you're intimidated and you would tell her that? What kind of bitch punk are you? Any man who has fixed his lips to say that shit, he needs his man card revoked because he's a mangina. Okay, he don't have no testosterone in his entire body. He's whatever less than beta is. What is okay? There's alpha, beta, zeta, something. He's less than that of man. You would say stuff like that to people. What is wrong with you? So in your case, I would say it was a blessing that they revealed their weakness so readily. Girl, you just one of those women that you're gorgeous and you have confidence, carry yourself like you have some confidence, and that is something that a man who is confident in himself would just like make a beeline to you because that's what he would want. He would want someone who's an asset, not a liability. So you see these guys with these clingy ass, weak ass, spineless ass women that just hang on their every word, and the guys mistreat them all the time because the women don't have a spine. They care more about the relationship than they do about how they're being treated. I see that you walking around with your resting, your RBF. They get the impression that you wouldn't take that mess from them, and so they don't have anything to say to you. That's what's really going on because they know you're not about the BS. So, as long as you go through life and you're friendly and, you smile at people when it's appropriate in social settings, not walking up and down the street like a Cheshire cat showing your teeth to everybody just because they command you to. That's not what I'm talking about. So you in a social circle, you at a bar, you at a meet and greet, you at some kind of singles happy hour or something, some business networking event. You introduce yourself to people, you smile and you chit chat with them. Okay, you may be conscious of having a pleasant and open expression on your face in those environments if you want people to talk to you. Practice it in the mirror if you need to. Just look at yourself as you would normally look and then say, okay, if I wanted to look open and look, like I was interested in talking with someone, what kind of expression would I change my face to? Then do it. Practice it so you get comfortable with that, making that face. Okay? How much I charge for a smile? $1,000. It's my charging fee. And you could just hold it up to your Cash App thing and they could just do an instant transfer. I figured that out. Yeah, Dusties, I'm telling you. You got to watch them because there's a lot of them are even professional, but a man's who he is inside has nothing to do with what he does for work. So that would be my suggestion to you. Practice looking at yourself honestly and see, how you feel about what you see. You're the only one that can make a judge about it. I know I have RBF, but you know what? I don't give a fuck. Because it's like, this is the way I look. If you don't like it, get out of my face. Go over there with some bitch showing her teeth to you. You ain't paid my smile fee. So you don't get a smile out of me. Unless I think you're cute. Then I'll be showing you all shit, my teeth and the three women down the road, their teeth too. Because I'll be showing all of that. Because you're like, you cute. Hey, hi. What your name is. That kind of stuff. But in general, I don't want to be talking to these dusties. I'm going to be talking with the same old shit. Coming to you with the same old tired lies. Beautiful evening, isn't it? No, it's not. Don't you have something else to say? Oh, well, I was just trying to be friendly. Well, you're not. You're tired. Your shit's from 1942. Get out of my face. I'm just saying, they just be wearing me out with that. I'm like, oh my God, can you come up with something new? Question number 7. Oh, no, wait, that was number 7. Number 8, female 21 to 26 out of Pennsylvania. Hi, Miss Deb. I've been having a few issues living with my mother. At 21 to 26, well, yeah, that's to be expected. We've never been close, and I hate living with her because she enjoys giving favoritism to my younger sister. I chose to suck it up until I was done with school. I had plans to move out before graduation, but COVID happened. Now, because of the pandemic, I'm home every day because I lost my job. My mother's a teacher, so she's home every day as well. She's driving me crazy. I try to avoid being around her because I know an argument will start. She thinks I'm lazy because I don't have a job and my sister does. However, I'm a student and I had to pay rent, food, while my sister was able to save over $10,000 because she doesn't pay for anything. She's 21, I'm 23. Lady, she's been doing this thing when I open my room. She darts from her room because she thinks I'm headed towards the bathroom. The first time it happened, I didn't say anything because I thought she really had to go. The way my room is situated prevents me from seeing someone moving in the hall unless they're right in front of my room. The second time it happened after she could tell me she's headed for the bathroom because I can't see her coming. She told me not to tell her what to do and claims she can avoid running into me. The thing is, she doesn't do that. She runs and I open my door so she doesn't have enough time to stop because she can't see me coming. After she said that, I kept my mouth shut because she considers anything she doesn't like as disrespect. She's in her mid-50s, and 3 years ago, she dislocated her toe running up the stairs. She was bedridden for months, and my sister and I had to take care of her. I don't want to slam into her accidentally and send her over the railing. I told her my concerns, but she thinks I'm bossing her around and being disrespectful. I just don't want to have to take care of her again and prevent me from moving out. I'm trying to get my computer certificates to find a new job so I can leave. I have a few thousand saved, but not enough to sustain job searching while living with roommates. In the meantime, how do I deal with my mother? This is petty bullshit. What is wrong with you? This is nothing to be going crazy about. And not only that, you got to realize you in her house. Okay, so all these feelings you having about what she does and what she says and stuff, you have no right to have those, because that's not your house. You're a guest there. Okay, I hate to say it, but that's the way it is. That's why I couldn't live with my mother, because you just know, well, she only has a few thousand and no job, so that she would go through that money. Actually, you couldn't even probably rent a place if you don't have a job, because they're gonna be looking for where you go get the rest of the rent from in a few months. So, she's stuck right now, but, moving into a place where you sublet or, rent a room, share a room with somebody, a 2-bedroom apartment, something like that. 2 bedroom, 2 baths, you have your own bed. You don't need the whole place by yourself. You just need a room. And, you know, yeah, searching just for the meantime. Yeah, that would be my suggestion. Just suck it up. You got to stop thinking that everything's going to be the way that you like it, because it's not. It's going to be the way your mama likes it, because it's her shit. Now, as far as this thing about running into her, I don't know, can you install a mirror somewhere so that you can, when you open your door, you can see what's coming down the hall? Will she allow that? Because your point about not running into her, because she already had a broken toe, whatever, is a valid one. That means she has fragile bones, and she's getting older, so that's it's going to be more and more fragile. So not running into her is a valid concern. But even though you can't see the person, can't you hear them? You turn all the music and all that loud stuff down, can't you hear them walking in the hall? So I don't know. There's ways around this. Just give this some thought. And but just remember, it's not your house. So whatever you get mad about, you just gonna have to suck it up until you can move out. Question number 9. Female 30 to 36 out of Queens, New Queens. I guess that's New York. It says new. I guess she forgot to type the rest. So I know you always say not to do this, but I've recently started seeing my ex. Why? Why you do that? I don't know. That's why my daughter's not here. Because I was like, look, this is my shit. And she's like, well, you make too much noise, but it's my house. I can make as much noise as I want to. Well, you're cooking all the stuff and it smells. Okay, but this is my house. I can cook whatever I want to. You see what I mean? And so then she went on and moved in with her boyfriend. I was like, deuces. That was it. So, the young people need to understand that. And I'm sure you have feelings and all that stuff, but it ain't your house. So whatever you got to say is going to fall on deaf ears. Nobody cares. You don't like what's going on in somebody else's house, get out. Those are your only 2 choices. So now we're back to this lady who's dating her ex. Him and I were friends for about a year before we became intimate and started dating. Well, during the almost year that we've been broken up and not speaking before last week, I started dating a 23-year-old guy. That was in April. Wait, you're in the 30 to 36 age group and you dating somebody who's 23? Initially, I ducked this guy like the plague because he's so young, but I grew to really enjoy him. About 3 weeks before my ex and I reconciled, I had already started to feel like maybe the 23-year-old was too young for me to realistically be able to plan a life in the near future with, for a few reasons. He's a great guy. He works hard. He's loving, but he just has young tendencies, like instinctively going to spend time with his friends after work and not necessarily in the groove of spending quality time with me on a consistent basis, which I understand at his age. I'm also used to a man who enjoys eating dinner together and ending our evenings together. Guess I'm a little traditional. He instead always tells me how delicious his mom or sister's cooking is because he's so picky about his country's food. We're both African, but our cuisines are very different. And it drives me crazy. He's a little rough around the edges in his demeanor. The biggest issue is that I prefer a man who courts, protects, and provides. His claim is that he did not step up to that level that I wanted him to, not because he has any problem with doing it for me, but my approach and energy behind my requests were rude and aggressive. I do admit I used to cuss him out like there was no tomorrow when I feel slighted or frustrated that he was not taking me out, or when I would mention a car issue or something of that nature, and his response would be, oh, okay, it's like you have something to figure out. It was very dusty to me and a complete turnoff that made the relationship toxic and end after only 4 months of us dating when I said fuck him and cut it off. I can be honest in saying I have chosen poor relationship for myself throughout my 20s. I'm now 31 and want to have a solid partnership in my life. Am I making a stupid move for revisiting my ex and assuming that the 24-year-old is too young to take seriously? Although I love my ex, there's an undertone of worry in my core. I don't want to tie myself and life to the wrong person. Thanks for your time. Girl, you are these the only two men on the planet? You have to choose A or B. There's no C, triple C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, 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 none of those. You don't have no other options, just these two. Dump them both. Okay, one thing you never do is go backwards in time. You can't do that. You can't unspill a spilled drink. Okay? It's burnt. Well, something's fucked up and burnt. Guess what? You got to toss it out. And there's no redeeming it. That's what happens when you have a relationship with somebody who's dusty and you break up. Okay, you don't never go back to it. They're gonna still be the same dust bucket they were. That's older. Now, as far as this thing, you talking about your car and all this old stuff. I'm wondering why you would think in a relationship of 4 months of that somebody should be doing all that shit for you. You unrealistic. Okay, that's very unrealistic. He don't even know if he likes you that much yet, and you trying to get knee deep in his wallet to be repairing your car and all this old stuff. You doing too much. Okay, you don't. The relationship is not about taking care of you. He ain't your damn daddy. These expectations that you have are just way off. Okay, you have expectations of a husband on somebody that you barely started dating. That's not right. Then you want to cuss the man out because he didn't treat you like you was his kid. This whole thing makes no sense to me. Both of them are wrong choices for different reasons. The young one is too immature, and the other one is he's just dusty. You already knew he was dusty. That's why y'all broke up. So why you go back to the dust? I'm confused. But that's my suggestion, that you leave them both alone in the past where they belong, and you move on and find you some new fool to mess with. Because they all stupid. You just got to find one that has a level of stupid that you can tolerate. Question number 10, male, 26 to 29, out to UK. My girlfriend recently brought up a scenario of her deciding to become trans. You know what? They're fucking with me. That's what this is. That's what this is. Basically wondering how I would react. I have nothing against trans people and I support trans rights 100%. However, I don't think I'd want to continue to date my partner if she decided to be trans. I have a small thing for guys, but I'm much more into girls. Oh my God, these confused men. I don't think I can see myself dating a guy. I just see a few as attractive. My girlfriend got upset when I wasn't sure about continuing to date her if she became trans. She thinks I should love and be with her no matter what. She will still be the same person. I'm just not sure how to feel. I know she would still be the same person, but I'm just not romantically into men, and I'm not sure if I would stay with her or leave. I feel terrible for even thinking of leaving because I do love her. In this scenario, she would only be doing what makes her happy. I need someone else's view on this, and I want to hear what you and your viewers listening have to say about it. What would you do in this situation? I would tell her just what you said. Once you call yourself a dude, we're breaking up. Because I don't date men. That would mean that I was gay. And I'm not. I like women. Titties. Coochie. Not somebody who's like taking male hormones and walking around, with a fake gruff voice and all that old stuff. We're not doing that. So I'm not saying you can't do it, and I'm happy it makes you happy. But guess what? You're going to be happy over there somewhere, and I'll be happy over here somewhere with a woman who wants to be a woman. And you can be over there being whatever you want to be, but you're not going to be doing all of that with me. And that's just how it is. And she don't have to like it, but you have to be true to yourself, sir. Just like if some dude I was dating some dude. No, don't even be friends. Fuck a friend. Because, see, then she going to be trying to, bring him back into the thing. Nope, nope, nope. You don't even be friends with her. She's not what you want. Okay? And by the time all of this happens, she would have broken your heart because all the dreams you had of you guys being in a relationship together would go up in smoke while she's chasing being something that she's not. So just go on and do your thing and let her go do hers. Send her off, wish her the best. But after that, you go no contact. Because she's going to be involved in a lifestyle you don't have nothing to do with. That's why you can't be friends with her. See, that's one of those things where you have to decide what kind of lifestyle you want to live and what kind of people you want to affiliate with. And she's going to be dealing with some folks that you're not going to want to be around. And that's just the way it is, you know? So you just do what I said and just leave her alone. You know, you're too young for this. You're only in your 20s. Oh, you're 31 now. Oh, wait. No, that's the wrong letter. God, I'm not even switching the pages. Okay, yeah, you're in the 26 to 29 age group. Hmm. Yeah, don't feel terrible about it. You would have to be true to yourself. You don't sacrifice your life and your happiness for no other motherfuckers on this planet. Okay? She want to be all of that, just let her go be it. But tell her that's not going to have shit to do with you. And you want a normal woman so you can get married and have a normal family, and she just eliminate herself from the competition. Question number 11, male, 21 to 25, out of Washington, D.C. So my girlfriend and I have been together for 2 years now. We're both 22. And when we met, I was studying law, but decided against that and figured I might do teaching after I was done with school. But I ultimately decided that pursuing firefighting was a career choice that would make me the most of my life in a way that's meaningful. My girlfriend wasn't a fan of my choice out of concern for me and also herself, me bringing toxins around her, etc., which I find really endearing and valuable, but ultimately not something I'd be willing to throw my decision away for. My girlfriend and I have talked at length about our future together, how much we want it, how fun it will be, etc. I really want to be with her forever, and every choice I make surrounding my future has her in the back of my mind, even this one. When I'm a firefighter, I'll have time to do stuff around the house, travel with her. If we have kids, I'll be able to be around them a lot. Or I can simply get another job to help fund their lives. I'm doing this regardless, but I really want to be able to do more to support my girlfriend and I. I want us to thrive. That is good. I like that. I start school next week, and tonight on FaceTime, my girlfriend brought up how stupid it's a stupid decision to get into firefighting. Wait a minute. Did she say those exact words? And that if she had known I decided on that when we started seeing each other, she would never have dated me. She stressed that it's too late now and she's in it for the long haul, but I still felt that. It broke my heart. I told her it's a deal breaker to leave because I don't want her to stress out all the time. Kept stressing out. It's not my plan to be a fireman forever, just to be one. While Fondo, no other jobs to move. I don't know what he's trying to say. She seems to be selling the idea that being a firefighter is stupid and how she wants me to do something else that doesn't come from a 9-to-5 job. I eventually ended up promising her I'd only be one for 5 years once I got a job, which is honestly a promise I wouldn't mind keeping. But the whole conversation just made me really sad, as I know I want to be with my girlfriend and be a firefighter. I really understand her concern. I think it's sweet and kind to be worried about me, but at the same time, I want to do what I want to do. Doing anything besides firefighting just because she says she's in it for the long haul, especially if I switch into teaching or something, just seems like too big of a gamble to realistically take. I guess I'd like to know what you would do in my situation. You know what I would do? I'd tell her, fuck you, bitch. I'm going to do what I want to do. You ain't my wife. You ain't my mama. You don't tell me shit about what I'm going to do for my career. So, bitch, either you get in line and you be all about it, or you get the fuck out. Those are your two choices. Now, if I were you, that's what I would have told her. We wouldn't have been having all these conversations about my job and my career and my future. That, she might be part of it, but then again, she might not. And the way she's talking and calling your choices stupid is ridiculously disrespectful. She's so like the career guru of the world now. She can read into the future and know what everybody should be doing. You should tell her, fuck you, bitch. And I know you love her and all this other stuff. I wouldn't give a damn. Because, you calling my career choice stupid? See, that's something you just don't do. And it sounds like from the way you've written this letter, like she's done it more than once. She's just ribbing you about doing what she wants you to do. So what you do is do what you want to do, and you get rid of her. I don't know what she's doing and don't care because it's irrelevant. She could be a stripper. She could be president of the country. It doesn't matter. What she's doing is she's putting him down. She's trying to embarrass and humiliate him out of his career choice. So this is what you do, dude. You're going to find you a woman who would love a firefighter like me. I was looking for one because I like that shit where they would be gone a lot. They'd be gone for days at a time, and if they worked overtime, they'd be gone for like a week or two. I thought this is the best shit ever. I was trying to find a fireman to date. Couldn't find one. They was all married already. So I was big. I'm trying to tell you. I was like, man, why did somebody tell me about this earlier? I would have been out there with their all over the fireplaces walking around. Girl, diamond girl, because when I used to live in Oakland, I lived in this big, this like 4-story building. It was all town, condos in there. And so they had the fire thing at the end of the hallway. And every so often somebody would be cooking something and they would burn it. Then the hallway would fill with smoke and stuff, right? The finest motherfuckers you've ever seen in your life would get off of that elevator, come up them stairs, and carrying all that fireman gear and just like dimpled down, chocolate, tall, strong as hell, because they got to be strong to do that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, somebody please have a fire. Somebody. Because they would just get, girl, I'm telling you, I just have never seen so many fine men in one place in my life. Not even clubs have this many fine brothers coming around. It was just unbelievable. You just be happy some shit's burning. Like, because they would come marching off the elevator. I'm telling you, whew, my heart just remembered it. Oh, my God. Fine. But yeah, I wanted one like that. I couldn't find one. So anyway, that's my long story. Young man, that's what you do. Get rid of her. Don't get rid of your dreams. You don't never give up your dreams for a bitch. Fuck her. Replace her. Question number 12. Female, 226 out of Memphis. I'm 24 with one child, a baby boy who's 8 months old. I live with him and am on a 3-year long relationship with my child's father. Last year, I found out he cheated with a woman he works with. The night I caught him, I begged him to take me back, and that I would even be open to an open relationship. What? If it would make him stay with me. He said the girl has a nice big booty. This guy is stupid. A car in her own apartment opposite of me, and when I get these things, maybe we'll get back together. This was the most embarrassing moment of my life. My self-esteem was extremely low, and I just didn't want to lose him. He seemed so good on paper. He has a great job, good credit, helps his family. He's pursuing a career, and he's funny. When I finally decided to let him go, I found that I was pregnant, and we got back together. Now I'm regretful and feel trapped. I'm no longer working, and I am a stay-at-home mom, angry and dealing with postpartum depression. He's young, 24, and very immature. He doesn't help with our child unless I tell him what to do. He never notices if something is wrong with me. He says he notices, but he just doesn't say anything because he doesn't think it's important to him, and my depression is my problem. I had to tell him to take care and show affection, ask about my day or if I'm okay. I even had to tell him to call after he gets off work before he goes to the gym to ask if I need help with the baby. When I asked him to skip the gym one day, he asked why. I got upset, and he said I'm too emotional, wear my heart on my sleeve, and that he simply wanted a reason to give to his gym partner. I even had to tell him to talk to me about serious things like mental health, marriage, religion, racial injustice, etc. He only wants to talk about video games. I tell him he's not considerate, but he says he's just not a whole ass nigga that he can't help that he's self-centered. He prides himself on being an asshole, saying that nice people finish last. I will say he tries to be more sensitive to my depression, but it always seems forced and not coming from his heart. He displays narcissistic and chauvinistic characteristics like he doesn't know how to care. I think of suicide a few times every week. I feel myself depleted mentally and physically. I don't want to raise my son like this. What steps do you think I need to take in this situation? Please go in on me. I need it. Oh, my. Thanks, Deb, and sorry this is so long. Well, somehow when somebody asks me to go into it, it takes the fun out of it. Young lady, see, I wish I had known you. I was like, where's your mother? See, when you was breaking up with him, you were breaking up with him because you knew he was stupid. You knew it wasn't going to work. You knew he was wasting your time. You knew all those things. That's why you broke up. And then when you found out she was pregnant, you know what you were supposed to do? Get an abortion. That's what you were supposed to do. You weren't supposed to have the baby and then sit there. Now you got to suffer for another whatever number of years of your life going up in smoke behind the baby that you had with a dusty ass bum. See, this is why mothers are so important. With daughters who get them feelings involved in situations and then go left. There's no way in this world you should have had a child with this fool in this situation. This was a horrible, horrible, horrible mistake. So let's see. I'm sure you said, wait, how old are you? You're 24. And he's 20. Oh, you both are 24. Okay. Since he comes, he's got a great job and stuff, and he helps his family and all of this stuff. You take his baby to his parents' house, and you say, here, this is your problem now. I'm done. Your son doesn't help me do shit. I'm suffering from postpartum depression. I can't do this. I cannot do this. So y'all take a turn now. I had him for 8 months. You can do it for 8, and then we'll talk after that. And then that's it, because you're too young for this. And there's chronological age, and then there's emotional maturity age. Both of you are very like immature emotionally, so that you've made a series of silly choices and involved a child in it. That shows lack of emotional maturity right there, because you would have been thinking, wait a minute, I was just breaking up with this fucker. Why do I need to have a baby with this idiot? Oh, clinic, I'll be right there. That's what you were supposed to do. He should have never even known that you were pregnant. You just should have proceeded with the breakup. Okay, so in the future, you have to make decisions that are for your in your best interest. Anything that's gonna get in your way of your dreams, you kick it to the curb. Any man that gonna fuck over you, you kick him to the curb. These things that you finding out about this guy, those are all signs that he was not the man for you, which you already knew. That's why you was breaking up with him. So you have like a whole letter full of more of new complaints, and every single one of them, it shows that he's just wasting your time. But yet you begged him to stay with you. Why? What benefit is he to your life? None. Let this go. And I'm telling you, give him and his parents they baby. Okay? It's a boy. They can raise it just like you could. Take it over there or let his parents deal with the problem. And him. Because see, they're more likely to get on his case about it. Then if when the kid is there, they'll make him do stuff. Hopefully, if not, then they'll just absorb it themselves. But either way, it won't be your problem. And you can come back later if you want to, or you can just ignore them all and just live your life. People think that's cold, because it's like, oh, we don't know that, Liz. See, don't be putting stuff in people's minds that you don't have no proof of and no facts. You coming up with fantasies in your own head. Nope. And you too, Kid Rogers, you ought to know better than that. You don't put stuff on people that you don't know. You ain't talked to this girl. You don't know nothing about what she thought. Okay? That's your imagination at work. I told you guys last week, if you're going to give a comment for the person and try to help them, then focus on what they wrote. Stay out your imagination. Because once you do that, you're not addressing the writer of the letter. You off in fantasy land over something that you created in your head. If you want to address the fact, you deal with the facts that's in the letter, and that's it. That's all you deal with. You don't go all wandering off to the left field, talking about something that's not don't have nothing to do with the letter. You be playing some old tapes in your head from your life. That's what that is. They don't have nothing to do with this girl. Okay? We're talking about solving this problem, not what she maybe possibly thought when you don't know her and you haven't had no conversation with her, and nothing like that is even hinted at in this letter. Well, a lot of people get into this situation not because of anything like what you're talking about, but simply because they are of a religious belief where they don't believe in terminations. And that the decision is made for them just on that alone. But I'm just saying, you got to just not think about that kind of stuff and think about how you're going to fuck up your life. That's what I'm saying. So let's see here. Okay, female 30 to 36 from Roanoke. Roanoke? I live on the upstairs unit and there's no insulation between me and the downstairs neighbor. So they've made it clear that they can pretty much hear everything. Before we moved in, I spent about $200 on carpet rugs for hardwood floors to help with the sound because I get so anxious about making my neighbor mad. They were already upset that we were moving in. It seemed like they enjoyed the vacancy before. Anyway, we have a thick carpet underneath our bed, and I made sure it wasn't up against the wall. When we have sex, I'm not vocal anymore. Sometimes I make very quiet sounds, but I can't control the slapping noises or the bed creaking. Oh, help me. Why? Why? Why am I getting these letters? It actually stresses me out so much that I can't enjoy it anymore. And I usually just wish it was over faster because I feel so humiliated that someone can hear me during this very private act. Afterwards, there's a lingering feeling of shame that can last an hour. We actually have drastically less eggplant now precisely because I've associated it with humiliation. It's almost like I think about my neighbor more than my partner, which is really pathetic, I know. What advice do you have for someone in a situation like mine? Knowing you, Deb, you just don't give a fuck, but how do you do it? You right. Because anybody who says something, I'd be like, shut up, you just jealous. Let me tell you this story. Okay, when I was living in Houston, this was the dude that I ultimately left and cussed out him and his mama and everybody. Okay, we had we lived in this apartment like in the middle, and there was a couple on this side, but our living room's backed up, so we didn't hear what was going on in their bedroom. But in the people on this side, our bedrooms, wall, we had the same wall. So this lady that lived there, we used to laugh about it. 'Cause, didn't be bothered about it. It's just one of those things. And you think about Indians, I mean, they all lived in one tent together, and the kids not only heard, everybody heard and saw everything. So, I mean, this is just a social thing. Okay, people get embarrassed. But so when she would be over there, we would hear her and her little husband or whoever he was, boyfriend, whatever, they was living together. And you would hear the dunkty 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 dunky 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 dunky, and it would be over in like I don't know, a minute, two maybe. Okay, so we would always laugh, right? Because we could start timing like, okay, here we go, here's the speed up, and then here it is. You could hear him going and all this stuff, right? So we would be laughing all the time about, what was going on. But one day, we laying there just talking, and suddenly it was going on for a long time. Like dunka 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 dunka. And then all of a sudden you start hearing girlfriend making sounds, which she never did before. We lived there for a year and a half. And she never made a sound, She was like, making all these sounds and whatnot. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on over there? Donkey, donkey, donkey. She's screaming and whatnot. Girl, yes, you know what happened? This is what we did because we just too nosy. So, like, we had to go like down the build around the building because there were two separate buildings, but they backed up against each other. So we had to go down the stairs and go around the other apartments and stuff, and then to over there to see. So we sitting out there on the lawn because we waiting to see who's gonna come out this house, and it was a brother, and this lady was white, and he tore that shit up. Girlfriend was in there screaming like she had never screamed before. And that shit went on forever. And we to the point where we were like, damn, I'm getting tired of listening. And she just screaming and screaming the whole time. I mean, just like he was just putting it down. And she just didn't know what to do with herself. She had never had it like, I'm telling you, she had never had it like that. And I'm a witness because, they, like I said, she was just right there. I mean, we could hear everything. And so, yeah, that's what had happened to it. And so when we saw that, was like, ooh, the tea of life. And so when you think we told her husband, oh, hell no. 'Cause I think like all them years, or boyfriend, whatever he was, I don't know if they was married or not. Let me stop. But whoever he was, her partner, um, he wasn't doing it right. Like I said. So, honey, she was all kinds of turned out. And after that, that was that. And then not too long after that, she left dude. I don't think she left him for the brother, but she realized that she was going to have a life of bad eggplant the longer she stayed with him. So she skied up and left dude. And that was like, oh, we was out there watching the movie truck come and get all her little stuff. And then she was like, bye-bye. And I was like, okay, bye. Good luck. I'm just telling you. So anyway, I tell you that long story because you're right. I don't give a fuck, and you really shouldn't either. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about. They have soundproofing that you can put in on your walls. It looks like artwork, but it actually absorbs sound. So you might want to look into that. We used to have those in our conference rooms, and it looks really pretty. I mean, it looks like art, but they're soundproofing panels. I don't know how much they would cost, but you should at least investigate them, at least for your bedroom, and then put those puppies up, and then maybe you'll feel better. Okay, look into that. Question number 14, female, 225 from Miami. We matched on Bumble way back in February, but could not meet due to the pandemic. But we remained connected off and on, and things started becoming more consistent in June and July. We connected over video calls and spoke about what we were looking for. I told him that I was not interested in casual relationships and I was looking for something meaningful. We went on 4 dates, after which he took it to the next level physically. A couple of days after the date, we were having a video chat and something came up. He said he'd call me back in a few minutes, but did so hours later in the middle of the night. I was waiting for his call, but by the time he called, I was asleep. This happened before. He flaked at the last minute or kept me hanging, fell asleep / forgot. The next morning, I told him I was disappointed and hoped he respected my time as much as I respect his. I did use some confrontational language like taking me for granted because I care for you. I have had a really bad experience in the past, and eggplant made me seek validation. He said he thought we were only exploring things, and this doesn't sound like that, and we need to let it grow organically. I kind of apologized, but said that to allow things to grow, it needed fuel. No response. Also sent him a proper apology text the next day. No response, and he has not responded to any of my texts ever since my fuel comment. I have not texted him in the last 2 days, but I wonder if this is salvageable. What? You went on 4 dates, and you talked to somebody over video chat and shit. It's not a real relationship. And you was getting to know him and stuff, and then you slept with him, and then he started acting stupid. So that's how you know that, a lot of women be like, well, he just used me. Let me explain something to you. If he liked that coochie, he would be right back over there. Okay? Now, just like there's some that you don't like, some Johnsons that don't do it for you, there's some that don't do it for them either. Sometimes it's just that simple. It don't have nothing to do with nothing else, and people getting their feelings all involved and condemning themselves and judging themselves and stuff. It's like, he got the job done, but it wasn't really to his, liking. Just like with us ladies. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just not to our liking. And it's not, he might have been a nice dude and everything, but he just don't do it for you. Okay? And that's the same thing with men. I don't know why this is so hard. So y'all, going to get your feelings all involved in and feel all rejected and stuff. Just understand, it's the same thing in reverse. Sometimes people just don't do it for you, and you don't want to deal with them anymore because they had, just like you did. You have expectations now. You're gonna put demands on a brother and stuff after 4 dates. Thanks, B. You can't do that. You can't treat people like that. That's really sad. But yeah, them Bumble things, meeting up things. I think if I did meet somebody on the internet, I would never sleep with them. Never. Yeah, you had dudes like that, call, and it's like, oh, yeah, I'll be there and stuff. And so then after a while, they don't show up, right? Well, me, I'll take my clothes off and start doing something else. I'm not bothered. But a lot of women, they're really waiting for the guy and stuff. But I tell you what, you do that one time, that's it. You don't get another chance. And we're not going to be talking on the phone about it. I'm not going to ask you what happened. I'm not going to say, when am I going to see you again? I don't want your excuses. I don't want no apologies. I don't want nothing from you. I want you to kiss my ass as I leave out your life. That's all that I want from you, if that. Because I might not want you even to touch me to do that. But it's like, I'm not going to be continuing to involve myself with a man who stands me up and pretends like he fell asleep and all this kind of stuff. He's blowing you off. That's so disrespectful. There's no reason in this world why you should have continued interacting with him. He should have been dismissed on the spot. Yeah, I'll apologize to him. They want to say, oh, I'm sorry, I'll do better next time. I'll change. Stop fucking lying. You never change. Don't even change your drawers, nigga. Get out of here. Anyway, question number 15. Female 46 to 55 out of the UK. I'm 46 and having unprotected eggplant, and I don't know why. I need someone to talk some sense into me. I'm almost 47. I have irregular menstrual cycle and read that there's a 1% chance of pregnancy at my age, so I have been throwing caution to the wind. My boyfriend is 41, and I think he sort of wants me to get pregnant because he never had kids, and we are totally madly in love. But I know I'm being so reckless. I don't even think I want another child. I think I'm just subconsciously feeling sorry for him that he never got to have a family. I have 2 teens. What is wrong with me, and him too for that matter? It's not a fetish thing. I seriously think my body is overriding my mind. Tell me a child at our age would be a terrible idea. No. No, what you should do is have a baby. So you're 47, 47. So you would have the baby at 49. And then by the time your child graduated from high school, you would be collecting Social Security or something, right? And then you would be dead before you got to see any grandchildren of old age. That's what would happen. And your child would go places with you, and everybody would say, "Look at your grandma. Your grandma's pretty." And the kid would be embarrassed and say, "That's not my grandma. That's my mother." And they're like, "Well, your mom is old as fuck." That's what you would be subjecting yourself to. So, yeah, you already know this is a stupid thing to do. Not to mention the increase of birth defects. So you're going to have some kid with like one eye in the middle of his head or something. And then you're going to be like, oh no, why did I do this? My life is destroyed because I had this one eyed kid. I mean, what are you doing? You're too old for this. Okay, put your birth control suit on and then do what you need to do. That's not an STD. It's somebody she already been dealing with for all this time, but that's not the issue. Yeah, the main issue she talking about she want to have a baby. I'm gonna have a goddamn cyclops. I have a baby. I have a baby with looking like what's his name? The dude that had the horns in his head. He kept sawing them off. Looking like that, cross-eyed and slew-footed and shit. No, old people should not have kids. Shit, my ass is old. You know what? And I don't even want to be around grandkids. I tell you, I go around my cousins, them kids that's up there, all her kids, her son, her kids have kids, right? I told you about that birthday party I went to. I thought I was going to lose my mind. All them little kids moving around looking like maggots. It was just too many of them, and all of them was making noise and crying and shit, shitting in their diapers. It was just too much. It was too much going on. I couldn't stand it. The noise level was just out of control. When I left there, I needed all kinds of liquor to calm my nerves down. And people like, you wouldn't feel like that if it was your grandchildren. The fuck I wouldn't. Kids are kids. Who they came out of doesn't make it wasn't my kid. So it's whether it's yours, my daughter's, hers, the neighbors, anybody. I don't care whose kid it is. They get on my nerves. So I was like, oh no, no. So that could never be me. I so look forward to her being adult so I could just go on with my life. Whew. Let's move on to question number 16. Male, 21 to 26 out of Houston. So I met this girl recently on Tinder. We went on 2 dates so far. And the first one, we went to a park and we had a picnic and we drank wine. And we kissed a lot on the first date. We had a great time and said we'd see each other again. On the second date, she came over to my place and we watched a film and we had eggplant afterwards. It went really well and she seemed to enjoy it. Both dates seemed really good and I was looking forward to seeing her again. After our date, she even sent some messages saying she would look forward to the next time. Fast forward to today, and she sent me a message saying that she's decided she doesn't want to meet up again. And in her words, she's looking to date someone properly and not just for eggplant. And in parentheses, she wrote, I thought we were dating. I know we had eggplant early on, but in the past, I have messed things up with girls because I'd be too affectionate to them too early. So, because I really wanted a girlfriend. So, with this girl, I tried to play it cool. And I figured if we had eggplant first, she could then push for commitment afterwards. She playing silly games. Also, when we were together, surely she can tell I really like her because I'm quite affectionate towards her and we laugh a lot and I really enjoy her company. I definitely don't think of it as just eggplant, but I'm just cautious of pushing for romance and commitment from a girl too early, as in the past this has messed up opportunities for me. My gut feeling is that she has started talking to someone else who she prefers over me and wants to date them instead. Either that or she just completely lost interest in me for some unknown reason. But I suppose there's a chance that she's being truthful and maybe she doesn't realize that I like her in that way. I could send her a message telling her that's also what I want, but then I feel like she's have much power over me and that would just kill her attraction for me. What do you suggest I do in my situation? Go and jump off a cliff. That's what I suggest because this is stupid. You're a grown man. Here you are, 21 to 26 years old. So you somewhere in there and ought to know better than to be playing games like this and listening to idiots online talking about, killing her attraction and all this kind of stuff. The girl told you that she wants a real relationship. That was your time to say, so do I. We're on the same page there. Would you like to be my girlfriend? I would like that. That's what you do. And then you put the ball in her court. And she either says, yes, I would like that too, or she will say no. Okay, and that since you only went out with her 3 times and she said no, you haven't really lost anything. There's nothing to be getting your feelings all bent out of shape about. But if you really meant those words and you saying that to her, then she's gonna feel relieved that you're not just after her for some ass. And she'll be like, oh, okay, he really does like me. Because she's feeling just as doubtful and confused and insecure about the situation as you are. But of course, since you have insecurities, the first thing you're going to think is she met somebody else. Instead of this girl really likes me, but she's feeling confused, like I'm only after her for one, for that. And that was what most women would think because of the way that things happen. You were just very physical with her, all that kissing and stuff on the first date. See, I wouldn't have done that, but that was her thing, and so whatever. But you need some lessons in how to be with women or something, because that was a simple one. I mean, as long as you mention shit, dudes that don't even mean to say it. That yeah, me too, me too. But in your case, you really would be meaning it and say, I really do want to see you. I just love spending time with you. I know we met on a weird way and Tinder, blah 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 blah. But I really would like to give this a shot. I haven't met anybody that I like as much as I like you. But I mean, if that's really what interested in, let me know. I don't want to press you or anything because I know we barely know each other. But the vibe I'm getting is really cool. You just seem real cool, and I would like to continue this. So you let me know what you think. Okay, I'll give you a day or two to think about it, and you hang up. You don't press her. You give her some space because that would be a lot to hit somebody with. And she would have to go away and think about how she feels about you, what she had fun with you. She'll be reminiscing about the times you had at the park, the kisses, the laughs, the eggplant. And then she'll think, yeah, this is pretty good. He seems really cool. I think I could be his girlfriend. And then she'll call you back and it would have been happened. But you fucked it all up with your insecurity. So she's seeing someone else. She likes someone else. You need to G up. Even if she does, don't you have enough confidence in yourself to pull the woman that you love? Like, whatever. You don't worry about what she's thinking about over there. You show her how you the better choice. That's how you do if he was a real dude, a real man. He's not going to let somebody get away with his woman like that. He's going to be like, oh, hell to the no. Let me show her something. And he would do what he need to do. But you running scared talking about, oh, she met somebody else. And you don't have no proof of that. Just putting all this fear and shit in your own head. Girl, I told you I was a man in my former life, and I was an asshole, like a rogue player. Because all of this stuff, it comes way too easy. I don't even have to think about it. It just comes. And that's kind of scary. Some stuff I'm not even going to admit some of the stuff I've done and said because I don't want y'all to know me like that. You're just going to know this version. That's enough. Question number 17, female 225 out of Cincinnati. So, my ex posted a pic yesterday on social media of his child going back to school. He was not in the pic. I typically do not like his pics, but as I was scrolling, I saw it and I liked it. I didn't think anything much of it. My sister's friends with him on social media as well. Saw that I liked the pic and called me this morning saying she couldn't believe I liked it and how he's going to think I want him back. She's a bit over dramatic. I really didn't think it was a big deal. It's not like he was in the picture. Plus, he's liked quite a few of my pics. Is it really that big of a deal that I like to pick up his child on social media? No, your sister's doing too much. She must like him. She must like him because there's no reason in this world why. Okay, she's friends with him on social media, and that's your ex. Why is she friends with him? That's your ex. Okay, did you ever think about that? There's a reason why she's still friends with him on social media, and there's a reason why she got bent out of shape that you like that pic. Put those two things together, and what do you come up with? Because 2 and 2 is 4 every day. So that's what's really going on. That's why she called you and was all talking about he's going to think that you want him back. Right? I'm just saying, this is an easy one. Because we're going by what she did, what she's doing. Okay? When you start, these aren't like conjecture, like I said. This is what's going on. The sister is friends with your ex-boyfriend on social media. And obviously she's on the page enough to know who's liking his pictures and whatnot, right? Okay? Think about that. She's keeping track of what's going on his page. Did you really connect those dots and seeing what woman likes his stuff? You see what I mean? So then that's how she sees that it's you. Ain't gonna call you about it. So I know that's your sister. I know that's your sister. But see, my sister would have got some real harsh words. Like it started with the B word and it just would have went downhill from there. Because that's my ex. What the fuck you doing? You know, you be keeping track of what, and I do what the fuck I want to do with my ex. You don't tell me nothing. You don't like it, that's too bad. Because now you know what I'm going to do. Now that I know that you're jealous and insecure about it and you must like him, I'm going to be on his fucking page every day. I'm going to post some bikini pictures on my comments every day. I'm going to be all up and down his page every day because I know it gets on your nerves and I'm going to enjoy that shit. I'm going to work every nerve you ever had because you are liking my ex. And I don't like that shit. Even if I don't want him, you're my sister. There have to be some kind of boundaries between us. That would be one of them. Some friend or something, that's, a different thing. But your own sister? No. She's doing too much. He's doing too much. So yeah, she would catch hell. I'm telling you, I would be doing. You know when they look in the dictionary where it says the most, my picture would be there. Doing the most, that would be me, because I would be doing the most, the absolute most, to make sure that her nerves was worked. I'm telling you, every day, and probably would wake up in the middle of the night, log on, and just to do it twice. Just to make her get upset. Because, when people play them hands like this, they play their cards so you know what's in their hand. See, now it's like it's open season. If she really had feelings for she was supposed to keep that a secret, she should never tell me that. Because now I know you're stupid. And I know that you like something, and I know that you shouldn't be liking it, and so now I'm going to hurt your feelings. I'm just saying. I know how I am. I would be giving her the side eye, and then the fuckery would commence. So anyway, I'm not saying that you should do that, but you asked what would I do? What would you suggest I do? Well, somewhere in between what I would do and what you would do, which would be nothing, is your answer. Because you have to do something. You have to check her on this. Trying to correct you about posting something on your ex, and you actually confused and wondering if you did the wrong thing. You're supposed to go through his timeline and like every damn picture on there, even if you don't like it anyway. The ones with him in them too. Double like them. Do the little heart eyes and stuff. Fuck with her. Yep. Well, not too many people get in my crossfire, but the ones that do, I kind of feel sorry for them because I will plot your demise. I'm going to make sure I'm going to be like Mission Impossible with players and scripts and all props and all kind of shit to get you back. Yep. All kinds of cutting up, I'm telling you. But it takes a lot to get me there. Usually I just kind of roll my eyes and just let people go on what they're going to do. But there's certain things that I just will not tolerate. I'm not going to tell you what they are because I don't want people trying to push my buttons and my ass ending up in Chowchilla. But, yeah. Let's move on to question number 18. This is from a young man, 21 to 25, out of Canada. I have no idea how to comfort my girlfriend after what she told me, and I need some tips and guidance, Deb. So today, my girlfriend, she's 24, told me about the ogling, stalking, and sexual harassment she faced when she was a kid. We'd been drinking. I guess she was more relaxed than usual. She started talking. I just sat there and listened. Good job. She was in the 6th grade coming back from school, and 2 guys out of nowhere came near her on her bike and touched her backside. They ran away. After that, she carried a brick of 1 kilogram till she reached her home. Once she and her friend were crossing the road with their bicycles, there was a huge breaker on the road. One guy came on a bike. He stopped his bike in front of them and unzipped his pants and didn't go until my girl and her friend crossed that breaker. This was in the 8th grade. Once she was coming home from somewhere, and one guy was peeing on the side of the road and started on seeing her, like rubbing one out. These are the few incidents that she told me today. It really broke my soul listening to all this. How a simple child who was in the 6th grade going to school can be harassed in broad daylight by pedos. I'm really at a loss of words of what to say to all of this. I really need some advice that I can help her. There's nothing you can do, sir. This happened in the past, but what you What you can do is when women share stories like this is part of what that Me Too movement is about. These things happen every day to little girls and girls and women every fucking day. Men are disgusting. They have no boundaries at all. These are kids, okay, babies, 11 and 12 years old. They don't even know what's happening yet. And our minds are already getting fucked up by these freak ass men. This happens every fucking day. I don't know not one woman who doesn't have at least one story. Most have like 10 or 12 stories of older guys doing crazy shit like this. This is like, especially in you living in the hood, this is the shit you see. You start seeing the shit when you 4. Cause the niggas just have no morals, no boundaries, no nothing. They're just weird. And so then you go to other places, other communities, they do the same shit. So, I understand your shock because a lot of men, unless they have sisters, they don't hear about this stuff and they don't see it. Like my father used to send me all around San Francisco with at least one of my brothers, usually 2. Like they would be flanking me on each side. I didn't go nowhere by myself until I was a senior in high school. And even then, sometimes one of them would go somewhere with me. I was like, he just was no. These motherfuckers is too weird, and you're not gonna go anywhere by yourself. And so that was just it. They always would come with me. One of them, like I said, at least one of them would come with me. And yeah, they might not care, but it depends on what kind of relationship they have with their sister. So I'm not gonna just say that's across the board, but this is really a thing. So what you can do is when you are around women who are discussing this, don't be like the guys online and poo-pooing and say you're making that up. It's not that bad. You guys, you attracted that. Those are the people They say all these kind of things to shift responsibility for the behavior of adult males towards children onto the child. And these dumbass bitches be doing the same shit. You fast, you this and that. It's the same shit. They blame the kids instead of looking at the fact that this grown ass man was stalking and harassing and being sexual with a child. Okay? That's the part that just drives me crazy. And you see so many people that don't, want to acknowledge that reality is happening worldwide. You can read on any news website about all the stuff that's happening to women worldwide about with men. What do you think all this trafficking is about and stuff? They're just using women's bodies for that, for profit. So, in the big grand scheme of things, it's a miracle that any woman is in a relationship at all. And I'm serious right now. Because it's like as the more older you get, the more you see how men treat women worldwide, how even the verbal abuse, the physical abuse, the stalking, the name calling, the narcissism, the game playing they do with the women's money and hearts and credit, the way they molest people's kids and hurt the kids and hurt the women. So you put all of that together, and it's like the men target women and children, and it's like there's so few that reach adulthood unscathed. It's just not even funny. Like I said, most women have at least one story, and most have 5 or 10 stories that they can share, like your girlfriend did. So the most you can do, sir, is show support and empathy. Say, I'm sorry that happened to you. It's not your fault. You were just a child. Thank you for sharing that with me. It makes me feel closer to you that you trusted me to share that. And I know that was confusing for you and hurtful. You say things like that to show her that you're on her side, that she could trust you to tell you that you're not going to be blaming her for it. You're not shifting responsibility for her on how these men did her when she was 11 years old, in 8th grade, 6th grade. Okay, you have to show her that that it's something new for you. You're trying to absorb it, but you love her and you will be there in whatever way she needs you to be there. Those are the kind of things that you need to say to her, and she can start relaxing and letting that pain go, because it is very painful. Sometimes it's like your own family members, people that you trusted, all kind of stuff. Yeah, and don't use it against her later, Drea pointed out, and that's very true. Don't bring that shit up. Because if she writes me and tells me that my boyfriend wrote you and I was the one who said that, we're going to find you. We're going to find you. Okay? Be like dude in that letter. I will find you. I mean, that movie. What was it called? I forgot. Liam Neeson. It was a good movie. Okay, let's move on. Question 19. 19 of 23 questions we have today. 19 of 23. Taken, yes. Oh. Liam Neeson was the shit. Okay, female 18 to 21 out of Atlanta. I don't quite know exactly how to start writing this, but here goes. So I had this good and cute relationship with my mom where I could ask her for any advice, tell her anything, and she'd do the same with me. We were inseparable. I would go wherever she went. Because of a really bad relationship with my dad, every weekend we went out for a walk and to eat out. But then things started getting out of hand when I told her that my brother tried to abuse me a long time ago when I was 8. She was in shock and she said she remembered that when it happened. I came to her telling her that he wanted to do X with me, but then she proceeded to do nothing about it. My brother was 18 then, so you were 8 and he was 18, so he knew what he was doing. And very conscious of what he was doing, yet she did nothing. Ever since she started talking about him more often, saying that he's a good person, about how confusing it is that every girl he tries to date doesn't want to know anything about him after a couple of dates, and making other comments about him having after having asked her to stop. I feel very uncomfortable about all this because I want to cut him out of my life. Something very difficult because at 28 and with a good job, he's still living with my parents and not helping at all at home. My mom even has to go to the bank for him because he doesn't know how they work. Today, my mom and I had a big argument, and she said that she told my brother about what happened, which I explicitly told her not to do. And she said he didn't remember, saying between the lines that I'm lying, even though I told her exact day it happened when I was 8, and that I should not remember that to him after 10 years. She keeps saying how, wow, this family is fucked up, how bad I am for not wanting to invite him to my wedding, get married, and she's constantly defending him as if he is an angel. She even went on to say how I'm going to be alone and have no one that will love me and no family. Wow. She also said that it's stupid taking into account something that happened 10 years ago, and I'm bringing this up now after I wanted his money. Completely false because he never gave me money, only gave me one present once for my birthday, and we split the cost of a video game, which he later gave to a friend. I honestly don't know what to do. I don't know if I should work next year. I'm currently at university, and I think studying and working would be incompatible right now, and move because I truly have no place to go. I don't know if my relationship with my mom is over. Her comments are very hurtful to me, and the way she favors a guy who smokes drugs, doesn't do any chores at home, and screams at her constantly and only looks after himself is killing me. I need some advice about what I should do. Hmm. Well, it sounds like your mother has spoken. She has taken a side, and it's not yours. Okay? She's choosing your brother. So now that you have that information as a fact, um, you have a decision to make. Because I have to let me go back to this because I need to say one thing here. I'm wondering why did you bring? I'm not blaming you. Don't get. I'm asking you a question because I need to know this. To get clear. Okay, you told her about this when you were 8, and she didn't do anything. Okay, so now it's 10 years later. You're in the 18 or whatever age group, 18 to 21 age group. It's 10, 11 years later, and you bring it up again. What was it that you were expecting to have happen? And I'm not being mean. This is an honest question so that you can understand in your head. So we don't do nothing without a reason. Everything we do has a reason. Either we trying to get something or we trying to avoid something. Okay, it's going to be one of them two things. So obviously, you're trying to get something, and I'm wondering what it was that you thought you were going to receive, what benefit, what kind of acknowledgement, what was it that you were hoping for by bringing that topic up again to your mother 8 years later. Okay, that's one point. You think about that. Then the second point is that put your mother in a very awkward position because basically she feels like, well, nothing happened all this time. Why are you talking about it? He hasn't done anything since. It was just that one time. Can't you let it go? That's how she's thinking. Just like the whole family's got to be destroyed because you bringing up some shit that happened 10 years ago. What do you expect me to do? Okay, that's what she's thinking now. She didn't do shit 10 years ago. So what do you expect her to do now when he's an adult? Kick him out? Is that what you wanted? I mean, you gonna know the answer to that question. I'm just, throwing some stuff out there. So what you're gonna do You at university and you think studying and working would be incompatible right now? Get off your ass. Everybody studies and works. But you act like you just a princess and you can't have a job and go to school at the same time? That's what everybody up in this bitch ass chat did. Okay, all of us had jobs and worked and went to school. You can do it too. If it takes you 5 or 6 years to get your degree, oh well. That's what happens. That's how it is when you're an adult. You do shit the way that it's gonna work for you. Now, staying in the house with someone who's abusive and a bum and uses drugs and all that stuff, see, that is a nightmare waiting to happen. Because whatever he does, he can always blame it on the drugs. You see what I'm saying? And your mother's gonna go along with it. So you don't need to be in that house. You don't need to be in that house sleeping, taking a shower, any way vulnerable around that boy with him his ass and drug using and your mother excusing his behavior. Understand what time it is. It's time for you to get the fuck out. Okay? You visit with your mother, but better yet, when you get your own place, she can come visit you and you never to set foot in that house again. The thing that that needs to be said too is, your mother talking about you gonna be lonely, you gonna have no family and all that stuff. You were supposed to pipe up and tell her, you know what? I would rather have no family than have a chance of bringing my little baby daughter around here and having your fucked up son try to rape her too. That's what I don't want to have happen. See, that's when your mama got all jiggy with it and started acting like that. You were supposed to roast her like you was a dragon, just flame on. But everybody's all you because you young and you probably don't have that gene in you yet. It hasn't come out yet. But see, when she did some bitch ass shit like that, you supposed to roast her ass. You let her talk to you like that. Say some old funky foul shit like that. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna have no kids around your raping ass son, and I'm not gonna have my kids around your excuse making codependent ass either. You two are birds of a feather. I hope you happy together. He's a useless piece of shit doing drugs and doing all that shit, and you just let him do it. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. But she's only 18, so she hasn't come to that realization yet. You know. She hasn't reached that yet. She'll get there. This is really sad. He don't do shit, don't do no chores, don't pay no bills. He don't even do his own banking. He wouldn't do his banking, but I bet you I would have me a go to the bank fee. Every time I had to go to the bank for you, it was going to cost you $500. Every time. I bet you his ass would quickly learn how to go to the bank. You see what I mean? His parents have spoiled these kids. Question number 20. Female, 26 to 29 out of Long Beach. So me and my ex have started seeing each other again. Backstory, basically things were great. Lockdown began. My ex started to become down specifically about life being so restricted. I guess some of his hobbies was his release. Eventually that led to shut down a bit and he felt really distant. We broke up and he said he thought his feelings had changed. He was completely disconnected but was equally upset and said he still cared. Anyway, a few months have passed and we have agreed to try again. Only I'm not really sure what that means. We see each other once a week and we always have a great time, just like old times, but he still seems really distant between that. Like before, things just felt easy. He isn't as affectionate, which is fine, but when we're not together, he seems pretty guarded, but then we'll say he just needs to take things really slow to get back to how we used to be. Problem is, I don't really understand what going slow means, especially when we are together, everything feels like how it used to be. He gets annoyed when I try to bring up like what we are doing, and I don't want to come off as needy, especially because of the breakup being so emotional. I still have feelings which resurface every time I see him, which makes things hard is in the back of my mind. I guess I'm wondering about what if these feelings don't come back and I end up getting hurt all over again. We're together, he always shows up, is respectful, and just how he used to be. He tells me he wants to try to get back to how good we were, but I guess I feel like I always initiate plans. He's very laid back, but still. Any advice? Is this going to hurt all over again, or with a bit of patience will things develop back to the way they were before? Nope. You just going to get your feelings hurt because, I mean, everything, all the signs are there. Any get back he wanted was just because he's lonely between women. As soon as he finds somebody he likes, he's going to be dumping you like yesterday's news. Or he just wanted some booty. That's always a thing too. But the guy's coming around, he's reserved, he don't talk to you, you just feeling all like he's all cold and everything. Um, you don't know what try again means. It's not easy. You don't know what going slow means. He gets annoyed when you try to bring up what the purpose is of all of this. I mean, he should have come in the door. He talking about get back together and try again. He should have come in with a plan. This goes for the rest of you too. A guy you was with, a guy who wants to get with you, he comes to you, yeah, 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 let's give this a try. Let's give this a try. What does that mean? What does that mean? Um, what do you, what's going to be different? Y'all don't ask the right questions. You know what's going to be different? What are you going to do? What are you going to say? How's this going to manage? How are you going to manage this? How is it going to impact my life? What were you thinking? Or is this hit on the marriage track? I mean, what, you just want to fuck around? You trying to talk about go slow? Well, that means you want to tap some ass, but you don't want to be a committed relationship. Is that what that means? You know, you need to ask the right questions. And then he's going to be sitting there because he know he don't go have the answers, and that's your answer right there. A guy who really had a plan and really wanted you back in his life and was truly regretful for the fact that you guys broke up, he's going to come in with his notebook full of shit of what y'all going to do, the day it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, what he's already done to put this in motion, who he's seen, whose class he took, what money he saved, what building he put a deposit on, what house he put a deposit on, what ring he put a deposit on, what he should be doing something, should be something tangible. You let these motherfuckers come into your life talking about, yeah, let's try again. And they ain't offering shit. They're not talking about nothing. And here you are all caught up. That's not how you handle your life, ladies. That's not how you handle men. He want to get with you. He need to be talking something that's definitive. You should not be having all of these questions and not know anything, and you calling yourself in a relationship with him, and you putting all the responsibility and all the power in his hands, talking about, well, what are we doing? You don't let him decide what you're doing with your life. You tell him what we're doing. And he can either say, okay, yeah, that's what I want to, or he can just say, well, that's not what I'm interested in. I'm out. I'm telling you, college ruled all that. I don't understand why, you guys have to think more about what's going to be good for you. You got rid of the fool. You all broke up. Okay, that means there were some major problems there. What is going to be different if you try again? He better have some fucking answers. And like I said, it better be tangible where you got receipts. Okay? And not just some pie in the sky conversation where he running his mouth. Talk is cheap. Let's see what you doing. What you doing? Okay. Now let's talk about question number 21. We got two more after this one. My wife has a male 26 to 29 out of the UK. My wife has a best friend who she hangs out with almost every week. I know her pretty well. We're kind of close too, as she around all the time. The other day we were all out at dinner and we're on the topic of children. My wife and I don't really want any, but we figured out that her friend is dying to have kids. She's gay. Her and her girlfriend have been wanting kids for a while. She said that she has thought about going to a clinic, but she didn't know how she felt about having the offspring from a person she doesn't even know. She was worried that they could have bad tendencies that she wouldn't have known about before. She also wasn't really a fan of adopting because she wanted the kid to be her blood. I understand how the situation could be difficult, so I expressed that. Later the same day, next day, my wife brings up the subject of her friend and how she is wanting a kid. Finally, out of nowhere, she said, how would you feel about providing your sperm for her so she could have a child? I was really confused. I initially said that I'd have to think about it. Whew. Your wife is stupid. Let's move on. The next day, I had finally come to a decision. I told my wife that I didn't feel comfortable with that. My reason was because I would feel uncomfortable being around a kid that I know was my own kid. I also didn't like the thought of pretty much getting her best friend pregnant, even though I obviously wouldn't be having eggplant with her or anything like that. I overall just wasn't something I felt comfortable doing. My wife looked really upset with me. She told me that I was being really selfish and that she didn't understand why I couldn't do this for her. She said it's not like I'd have to carry the kid. All I have to do is produce and give her the sperm. Her friend later called me sobbing and begging me to help her out. She promised that the kid would never know I was the father and that I would never be responsible for it. I tried to be nice and explain I just didn't feel comfortable. My wife hasn't spoken to me much since, and I can tell that she's really upset with me. She's obviously on her friend's side. I don't want to be selfish, but I felt like I was reasonable to feel uncomfortable about this. This has now caused a lot of issues. My wife is upset with me and her friend obviously doesn't like me anymore. Am I wrong for saying no to this? Is there any way to fix this situation? I want to smooth things over with my wife, and I don't want the friend mad. No, 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 no. G up. G up. Call the bitch-ass friend, and you say, bitch, let me explain something to you. I don't want my kids running around with your funky, tired ass. any kids I have, they're going to be living at the house with me and with my wife. Now, I'm not saying that the wife is going to even be this broad because she's acting stupid too, just like you. So y'all, both of y'all are crazy. I'm not doing that shit. Don't ask me. Don't you demand me to do like I'm some kind of breed mare or some shit? Fuck both of you. And then you hang up the phone. Then you turn to your wife and you say, what kind of bitch shit is this? You think that I'm just going to be jacking off and giving my sperm to whoever you command me to? What kind of fucking shit is this? What kind of woman wants to have her husband to have a baby by some other bitch? You're a stupid lady. And it's like, this the kind of shit here, this going to make us get a divorce. Because I don't want some woman who thinks some bullshit like this is a good idea. You're supposed to think that the kids that we have together is the ultimate way that we bless each other as we start our own family. How am I going to be having a family that's living over there with your lesbian ass friend? Not that I have anything against lesbians, but you know what I mean. You're a heterosexual man in a relationship with your wife. That's where you should be having your children, not breeding all over America just because somebody wants your sperm. That's retarded. And you need to get them both in check, and you're going to cuss them out. That's what they sound like they need to me. Yeah, I'm telling you, we talking like divorce, like instantly, because you not better can't trust them. So don't go to sleep. Don't go to sleep. Don't let your wife do no BJs and stuff and then dash out the room. You'll be having a baby and you won't even know what happened. You better be very, very careful. See, if it was me, I wouldn't be fucking my wife no more. She wouldn't have to worry. And when I go to bed, I'm gonna have like 19 layers of clothes on. Yep. She say sleep in a separate room and lock the door. All that. All of that. Because this is just crazy. They're gonna be trying to sneak something out of you. So you need to be very, very diligent. Because, this is the kind of CC, like she's saying you wouldn't have to do all that and all this other stuff now. But you don't know. Well, say you did it, like, and the kid comes out with some major birth defect or something. Now she don't want the kid. Well, you the legal father. Guess what? Now you got this kid that you didn't even want with some woman that you didn't want, and the kid is fucked up. And so now you on the hook to take care of it. When in a situation you didn't even want the kid have a kid in the first place. So you get triple fucked. Did you ever think of that? Because that is a possibility, You just never know how these things are going to roll. So I'm just telling you, she get mad, right? And she decide, well, it's too expensive. I can't do it by myself. And then decide she want to tap you for child support. So they do that DNA test. Oh, it turns out that you are the father. Then what you going to do? You going to be paying child support to some bitch you didn't even fuck, see, for a kid that you didn't even want. Are you hearing me? That's how this is going to go. So you need to just tell your wife, look, it's going to be this way where I don't do nothing, and you either accept it and get yourself back together, or we get a divorce. Because I can see this is an idiot. This is going to be some shit that's going to break us up. That's what I would do with her. You being very nice, explaining and being patient and stuff. You just say, fuck you, hoe. You ain't getting shit from me. I don't have no babies with your wretched ass. And my crazy ass wife up here co-signing on this bullshit. I'm about to get a divorce from her dumb ass. So y'all can go over there and figure it all out and do whatever the fuck you want to do together. But I don't involve me in it. Yeah, they plotting on him. That's why he better wise the fuck up. Better move out and get a divorce real quick. I don't know, because she talking about she don't want to go to the sperm bank because, this and that and this and that. She just don't. She just want to have a baby with this man. Nah. That would be the thing, number one thing I would deny her. But you better watch yourself, sir, because they is plotting on you. Question number 22, female, 25 to 29 from the UK. 6 years ago, I walked in on my former, parentheses, best friend and my now ex-boyfriend sleeping together. Whoa. She's now back in my life, and I don't know how to deal with it. I'd only been dating my ex for 6 months, but the betrayal still hurt. I was living with her at the time. Let's call her Siobhan. But luckily, our lease was month to month, so I was able to move out quickly. I ended up moving back home with my parents. I completely cut off contact with both Siobhan and my ex, and the last I heard of them was that they had started dating. In the past 6 years, I met someone new, and we've been married for just under a year now. My husband knows all about what happened between Siobhan and my ex. Last Saturday, my husband's best friend, Max, invited us out for lunch because he wanted to introduce us to his new girlfriend. Guess what? His new girlfriend is Siobhan. Oh, my God. So your arch enemy is your husband's best friend's new girlfriend. Wow. Siobhan spent the whole lunch gushing about how much she missed me and telling Max all the good memories we had together. She made it seem like we had just drifted apart after I moved instead of her betraying me. Max is a really nice guy and I didn't want to hurt him by making a scene, so I ended up faking sick so I could leave early. When we got home, my husband asked if I wanted him to tell Max what happened, but I'm not sure if that would be fair to him. I know people can change, but seeing her again just brought the betrayal and hurt all back again. How I deal with having to see her face again. Do I be nice, savage, or somewhere in between? No, you just, what is this protecting men shit? You guys kill me with this stuff. You don't know that was intentional. Stop that. People just coming up with all kind of scenarios and you don't know nothing. Come on now. The man's just his friend. How's he supposed to know that that's the woman if he never met her? She wasn't friends with the bitch for 6 years until she met this guy. He never met the girl. So how would he know that was his friend's girlfriend and it was the same woman? Come on now. The timing is way off. You know, way off, years off. He was no reason why he would have met this girl. So now, what you're going to do though, see, this was a perfect opportunity. Once you sitting up there with all this conversation, I wouldn't have gave a fuck about Max because Max needs to know what kind of bitch he's dealing with, and you trying to protect him instead of giving him the real. This bitch has poor character. Okay, so if you really cared about Max, you would have told him. You would have exposed the shit right there so he wouldn't be wasting his time or emotionally investing in this bitch who is not trustworthy. So what you were supposed to do when she started talking all that shit, you were supposed to say, look, oh, so I guess all the parts you telling stories now about and reminiscing and shit, why don't you reminisce about the time I found you in bed with my boyfriend? Let's talk about that. That's all you would have had to say. And then Max would have been like, what? And you were like, oh, yeah, I was living with her time, came home and got the surprise of my life. This bitch in the bed with my boyfriend. I moved out and we haven't talked since. So you can imagine my shock walking here seeing this tawdry bitch as the one you represented as your girlfriend. She's not worthy of you. I mean, you're not, Max, she's not worthy. You're way too good for this bitch. She is a lying, cheating hoe. So unless you want to have a relationship with a lying, cheating hoe, it's the best to suggest that you leave her alone. My husband knows the whole story. He can fill you in. I'm out. And you get up and walk out. Mic drop. And then you leave her sitting there with her mouth hanging open or in tears. Leave Max there looking confused, and leave your husband holding back laughter. That's how you do it. You know, you don't run scared, excusing yourself for that passive aggressive old sissy shit. What kind of woman does that? That is just so cowardly. You're supposed to expose her ass right there to everybody. With no shame, because you didn't do anything wrong. What you hiding and running for? You know what I mean? Yeah, well, exactly. I would just tell everybody. Siobhan is a hoe. Siobhan is a backstabbing. You can't trust her as a friend, and I don't definitely know you can't trust her as a girlfriend. Hoe. So I don't know what you doing. I would just be like all of that. She would have been so busted out. So that way that Max could never say he didn't know about her character. And you're supposed to be your husband's best friend. He should know. Because this is not a hearsay story. This actually happened to you. This is firsthand information. So you telling Max this is a firsthand story. It's not hearsay. It's not a rumor mill thing. This happened to you. She did this to you. So you have every right to tell him because it is a real life experience that you had at the hands of this woman that he's trying to date and get feelings for and stuff. He can't trust her. People, your character shows who you are everywhere you go. It's there with you all the time. There's certain things, if you have a certain kind of moral stance and a value system, that you're just not going to do. Anybody that will sleep with her roommate, best friend's man is a hoe and she's never to be trusted. Don't do it. And so they're not telling the little Max guy that they're doing him a disservice and it's really wrong. He needs to know. Now, if he decides he still want to deal with her, then that's his red rag and that's his choice as an adult male to do it. But this way, you're keeping secrets from him and getting him involved in a situation that he might choose not to be involved in and trusting a person he might not choose to trust if you told him who this woman really was. And you're not doing that. So, you and your husband need to get your shit together. This is just wrong. You don't do people like that. Okay, and here's our last question of the night. The last question. Yeah, she's being loyal too. I don't know who she being. She's like protecting the woman instead of just busting her ass out. Man, I'd be throwing so many knives and spilling so much tea. They would need all kind of mops and stuff for all the shit I was be spilling. Yeah, poor Max is just being left in the dark. They dogging him. I hope the husband tells him though. So the final question, question number 23. I want to thank everybody for coming with to What the Fuck Tuesday. Every week we get more and more people. That's lovely to see. If you have a question that you want to submit, you want to send in your question. I don't know where the slide is with the uh, question on it. Shit, I can't find it. Too many stuff in here. Anyway, just email it on the form on survivingdating.com, or right up here in the top of the thing up here, you'll see a little green button on the nav bar. Just click it. It says get advice. Click it. Also, the link to the submission form is in the show description below. They all take you to the same place. You go to surviving dating, get advice up here, or down in the show description, and click the link, and then your letter can be, appear on the column in the coming week, in the coming show. All right. Well, it's not too late, just Santina. You can't make it for today, but you can do it for next week. Just send a question in down below. Now, question number 23, and hit that subscription button, y'all. That's not a subscriber. Become one. Me and a girl I met, he's 21 to 25 out of Philly. Me and a girl I met have been seeing each other for a few months now, and up until now, it has been casual, mostly just eggplant and sometimes hanging out together for both free. Recently, we've been getting more intimate with each other, and she finally told me that she wants me to be in her life as a partner, but she felt obligated to warn me that she is schizophrenic and gets mild episodes of psychosis from time to time. She's also told me that she wouldn't blame me if I broke things off with her. Didn't we just talk about that? When did we just talk about that? I work in healthcare, so I already know a little bit about schizophrenia, but I'm no psychiatrist. My understanding is elementary at best. I know the symptoms can be managed by medication and constant check-ins with her MD, and I know what acute psychosis slash excited delirium looks like and how scary it can be. The episodes are short from what I understand, but that's bound to worsen as she approaches her 30s. The truth of the matter is, I really like her. The courage and vulnerability it must have taken for her to tell me this is unimaginable. I don't think any less of her because of this, and I really do care about her. That's nice. What do you want from me? The bitch is crazy. Okay? Now, we just talked about that. You're going to be trying to have kids. You looking at somebody being a partner, being in love, and you're going to be trying to have a family with them and shit. This shit is inherited. So your kids are going to come out and they're going to be all kind of schizophrenics and weirdos too. What you going to do? Now, you can't say that you didn't know. She's telling you before you even get in too deep. Of seeing each other for a few months. Okay, so there's plenty of time for you to put the brakes on this and make a U-turn. I don't know. If you were my son and you told me some shit like this, I'd be like, look, you even try to think about bringing that crazy bitch to my house, I'm going to kill you. Don't you even think about it. I don't want no nutty ass grandkids. We not doing that. It'd be like that boy flipping out and want to kill everybody in the house and stuff because he having his schizophrenic moment. No. No, no, no. Well, maybe you should talk to a psychiatrist since you're not one. You only know a little bit about it. You need to read more and talk to somebody who's a professional in the field so you can see how risky what you getting ready to do is. Did she miss up on one dose of medicine or it stops working well? Because sometimes they have to adjust their medication and stuff. She end up at 150, 150 or attack your ass when she's having one of her schizo moments. I don't know if he's trying to listen or not. He said, I won't think he less of her, but he wants to know what to do, and so that's what you would do. But if you don't want to do that, which is the same answer I tell everybody here, it's not just him. It's anybody who asks for advice here. That's all it is, a suggestion. It's not a rule. You don't have to do anything I say. You don't have to view it the way that I do. You don't have to come to the conclusions that I do. Nothing. Nothing. But you were so confused by your situation. It sent you through so many changes that you wrote getting to get some clarity and advice on what you should do to handle the situation. And I give it to you, but then you don't take it, and then you have problems later, and then you be like, oh no, I should have listened. Oh, I got myself into this big mess. Oh, what am I gonna do? See, just like I told Cardi B. Cardi B, don't marry that fool. He's a cheater. He's a liar. He's a baby making whatever he is. He's an idiot. What did she do? She wouldn't have married him anyway. And now they're filing for divorce. It was hot on the news today, on TMZ and People Magazine, People.com. They filed for divorce already. It's like, Cardi B, girl, I done told you, don't do that. You should have listened to me, and you wouldn't be in this situation. Now you got a baby by an idiot, and he gonna be forever in your life because that's his baby. And yeah, you're gonna be divorced. Yeah, she filed for divorce today. It was on the news. I mean, the news, it broke about, I don't know, about 2 o'clock this afternoon, 1 o'clock, something like that. So I was just shaking my head because look, girl, I done told y'all, you didn't listen. So well, whatever. She got her own money at this point. Now her and what's the name made that record. They cleaned up on that. That is like everybody saying that catchphrase and playing that little raggedy song. Yeah. I looked at his face. I didn't even, it was all about the cheating, but I looked at his face and was like, why? He looks like a roach. I don't know these old roach-looking men. Ugh. What you gonna have with a roach-looking man unless you have a roach-looking baby? Because there's no guarantee that the baby's gonna look like you. It might look like his roach-looking daddy. That's kind of scary. Everybody be walking around trying to spray your kid with Raid and shit. Oh, I need to stop. But anyway, this Friday, we're going to do the last Dusty News Network show of the season. Remember, if you got something you want to send in, you send in your screenshots, you send in your dusty memes, you send in your dusty posts and screenshots of comments. Mail it to survivingdating@gmail.com. Make the subject line Dusty News. Dusty News is what you want to do. And then we put as many of them as we can on Friday, okay? So you guys, thank you so much for coming, spending this time with me. I just love it every time. We guys have a good time here. For those of you who just visited today, please come back, hit that subscription button and the like button on your way out. My Patreon subscribers, the chat donations, and Lady Boss, thank you very much. I will see you all on Friday night. Bye-bye.